Gold Rush, Season 16, Special Episode. See miners. They're not just digging dirt and hoping for the best. They're studying landscapes, tracking erosion patterns, and using science, even if they don't always call it that, to make decisions that could make or break their entire season. The episode explains that gold doesn't just appear randomly. It follows rules. It settles where movement slows. It gathers where heavier material is naturally trapped. And once you understand those, what makes this opening so powerful is the tone. There's urgency, there's honesty, and there's respect for how hard this life is. And when water slows down, even slightly, gold drops out of suspension and stays put. The mines can turn a promising operation into a disaster. Another key theme teased is decision-making under pressure. Mine methods suited for beaches won't translate to mountain terrain. The sneak peek makes it clear that understanding the environment is just as important as having the miners begin to guide the narrative. There's no exaggeration in their tone, no false promises. What's is massive transport mechanisms. They crush mountains, release minerals, and spread gold thousands of years. What makes this section especially compelling is how it reframes glaciers, not as walls and lessons learned the hard way. This honesty is what gives the trailer credibility. It doesn't pretend that knowledge guarantees success. Instead, it shows that understanding reduces risk, and in mining, reducing risk is often the difference between surviving and shutting down. Another standout element in the trailer is the focus on discipline. The miner, even when hope says otherwise, they explain that chasing gold blindly leads to loss, while patience and evidence lead to opportunity. The trailer also subtly addresses the emotional side of mining. The pressure, the uncertainty, the constant balance between optimism and realism. These moments add depth and humanity to the episode, reminding viewers that mining is as much a mental challenge as it is a physical one. As the trailer builds toward its conclusion, the messaging becomes clear. How to get rich mining is not about shortcuts. It's about understanding systems, respecting nature, and making informed decisions. The final shots of the trailer bring all these themes together: creeks, glaciers, beaches, and miners explaining how these environments connect in one continuous process. Gold begins in rock, moves through ice and water, and settles where conditions allow. Those who understand the journey are the ones who stand a chance at success. By the end of the trailer, viewers aren't just excited. They're curious. They want to know more. They want the full explanations. They want the details that only the full episode can provide. And that's exactly what this special promises. At its core, Gold Rush Season 16, Special Episode, titled How to Get Rich Mining, is not just about finding gold. It's about understanding it. This episode steps back from the day-to-day chaos of mining and looks at the bigger picture, showing viewers how gold moves through the world and why only a small number of people ever manage to profit from it. This special episode makes one thing very clear from start to finish. Gold mining is not a guessing game. It is a process shaped by natural laws that never change. Gravity, water pressure, and time decide where gold ends up long before miners ever arrive. Those who learn to read these forces have a chance at success. Those who don't are left chasing illusions. Throughout the episode, viewers are taken through a complete journey. From the source of gold deep within rock formations to the places where it finally settles and becomes recoverable. Creeks, glaciers, and beaches are not treated as separate ideas, but as connected stages in gold's long journey. Each environment plays a role in moving, concentrating, and preserving gold. The episode explains that creeks act as natural sorting systems. Fast water picks up material, while slower sections allow heavy gold to settle. Cracks in bedrock, bends in waterways, and sudden drops become natural traps where gold accumulates. These aren't accidents, they are predictable outcomes of physics. understanding that turns a random search into a calculated effort. Glaciers are shown as powerful contributors rather than obstacles. Over thousands of years, they grind mountains into fine material, freeing gold and spreading it across vast regions. The episode highlights how ancient glacial paths influence modern gold deposits, reminding viewers that today's opportunities are often shaped by events that happened long before human memory. Beaches, perhaps the most surprising environment discussed, are revealed as dynamic gold concentrators. The constant motion of waves and tides mimics mechanical processing, gradually separating heavy minerals from lighter sand. The episode carefully explains how and why fine gold can exist in these environments, changing the way viewers think about where gold can be found. But this episode doesn't stop at locations. It goes deeper into the mindset required to succeed in mining. Viewers see how discipline, patience, and evidence-based decisions matter more than enthusiasm alone. The miners featured in this special speak openly about mistakes they've made, chasing bad ground, trusting rumors, or ignoring warning signs, and the consequences they paid for those choices. One of the most powerful messages in this episode is that knowledge does not guarantee riches, but ignorance almost guarantees failure. Mining is expensive, and every wrong decision compounds risk. The episode emphasizes that successful miners don't just dig harder, they think smarter. This special episode also reframes what getting rich really means in mining. It's not about instant jackpots or overnight success. It's about stacking small advantages, reducing losses, and making informed choices consistently over time. The miners explain that profit often comes from avoiding mistakes just as much as from finding gold. By presenting mining as a long-term discipline rather than a gamble, the episode adds depth and realism to the gold rush story. It respects the audience enough to tell the truth, that most people won't strike it rich, but those who learn, adapt, and respect the process give themselves a real chance. As the episode moves toward its conclusion, all the earlier lessons come together. Viewers begin to see how creeks connect to glaciers, how glaciers feed rivers, and how rivers eventually meet the sea. Gold's journey is continuous, and understanding the journey is the key that unlocks opportunity. The final moments of the episode reinforce why this special matters. It's not just entertaining, it's educational. It doesn't just show results, it explains causes. And that combination makes How to Get Rich Mining one of the most meaningful episodes in Gold Rush history. For longtime fans, this episode adds context to everything they've watched before. For new viewers, it provides a foundation that makes the entire series more engaging. And for anyone who's ever wondered whether gold mining is more than luck, this episode delivers a clear, honest answer. So if you're watching Gold Rush Season 16 special episode, How to Get Rich Mining, this is not the moment to tune out early. Every segment builds on the last. Every explanation adds another layer of understanding. And the full picture only comes together at the very end. Stay focused, watch closely, and watch till the end, because this episode isn't just about gold. It's about knowledge, patience, and the real path to success in one of the hardest industries on Earth.